guys, welcome to the stream. So obviously we're at Kyoto this time round. So this little short Miyabi one first, and then the full length Miyabi and Yamaguwa is it, I believe. So hopefully we see some good racing again like we have the last couple of rounds. Governor goes for a big slide down the straight there. So what teams have we got in Lobby 1 this week? We've got United Sim Team, Plebs, Last and Furious, the Furious 3 and Asylum Outlaws. So I believe we've not had the Asylum Outlaws before, and I don't think we've had Plebs International Corp, as they're called, either. So those two teams are Plebs is Slugsy, Ost and SRT. So that should be a very fast team. And then Asylum Outlaws, I think, are the other team we've not had before in Lobby 1, which is Lucky, Governor and Christian. So Governor, who we're on board with at the moment. And I think the other 3 teams we've all had before. But Last and Furious obviously have had reserves covering, so I think Hansa's the only one from their team that we have seen before. But I know Nick was supposed to be in their team. I think he's had to pull out. So I don't know who the replacement for Nick is on that team. But we should have Rockzilla this week, which we do. Looks like there may be some issues with people getting in the right lobbies at the moment, so that will just be getting sorted out for now. So hopefully everything will be underway. 8 o'clock is our starting qualifying time, which we were bang on last week, so hopefully we can do that again this week. Could be a very interesting first race, this one, because not really anywhere to overtake on this short Miyabi track. And very easy to have accidents, so hopefully that won't happen. Hey Ray! Roses might be put. Is Roses the full cover for Nick now, Ray? Do you know? Hey JP. Yeah, maybe you can overtake in go-karts, but I mean, in Group 4 it's not quite as easy. So let's see what livery. Yeah, Roses has got that livery on, so I presume Roses is the full cover now to replace Nick. So we've obviously seen Roses before. Looks like there may be some people having issues joining the lobby, so we may end up having to have a slight delay, but hopefully we can get that sorted out. We might need to reset the lobby. Watch Roses go for a big slide there. Does well to keep it out the wall though. Gives us a nice show of tyre smoke. On board with Baz now then. I think the McGann this week at this shorter track might be good, but the longer one, a lot of fast flowing corners. Tyre wear was good on this car last week at Red Bull, but its main strength is them heavy braking zones, and the long version of this track does not have very many heavy braking zones, so not quite sure if the McGann will have the pace this week, but obviously that is a fairly fast team, so we'll see how they do. But this short version of the track for the first race, I imagine they'll go well. Vines Racing can do. That's Christian, one of the new members to the academy. So it'll be good to see how he does this week. Starting to look like most people might be in. Obviously SRT now, another one of the academy members. Very, very fast driver, very young driver as well. So we've not seen how he gets on, so be interesting to see him today. And then Tim, coming off that really good race at Red Bull, will be wanting to have another good race. And Os now, watching with his new PS5, hopefully no more issues. Because Os unfortunately used to suffer quite badly with the PS4 issues. In the Porsche, I don't think we've seen anyone else in the Porsche, so be interesting to see how that car goes as well. Yes, JP is. I'm not sure the exact time, but 3 AM is probably not far off what time it'll be for him. Sounds like someone might be having issues with the PlayStation, unfortunately. So it's 4 minutes till the official qualifying start time, but that may have to be delayed a little bit just due to some issues getting in the lobby. Like I said, it might end up getting reset, but we'll see what happens. Also, we've got Lucky Bucky. We've not seen Lucky Bucky before. So hopefully Bucky can have a good race. I know Bucky was away from racing for a little while, as there we go, the host has ended the game, so presuming this will be a lobby reset. Yeah, looks like change of room owner. So hopefully everybody can join this time. Hopefully that means, I believe it's Dove's granddad that's been having some issues, so hopefully that's all sorted out with Kingy as hosting. Yeah, mate, it's a bit strange that they've still not sorted these lobby issues out with certain people connecting to certain people's lobbies and things like that. It makes no sense at all as to why. And I mean, they're all on PS5, so that shouldn't be the issue. Obviously, I'd be worried with a PS4 hosting the lobby just because of what issues had, that the issues might be more likely then, but Gia Keller, we've not had Gia Keller before. E-Team Brit, so is that Dacia's Simp, is that then? Or is this just the cover they've got? Because I know Arden and Asher are no longer racing in this one. So I believe Sophie is the other one racing for them. Yeah, they've still got the old livery though. They've not got a new United Sim team livery yet. Still on an E-Team Brit one. It's going to be a name I'm going to struggle all stream to pronounce. Ah, so Gear Keller is in instead of Sophie. Is that Luca then? Is it? Is that Luca? Or is he in as well? Ah, no, that's Luca in it. Red LMR, that's Luca. Gaia Kayla. Gaia Kayla. Hopefully I don't have to say it too much. What, Gia Kayla? Hey Paul, good luck in your lobby. Shame you weren't in this one. Hey Jeff. Cheering on Team Bucky. Let's see how he's doing in his practice. Oh, as he sort of gets him slugs his way there. As he had damage, he must have gone into the wall at some point. Hey Steve. Yeah, Steve, a shame you're not racing with that mix-up earlier on. But there is still room in there. Personally, I think you should join into it. But even if you miss qualifying and have to go from the back, you've put some practice in. It's definitely worthwhile giving it a go in that lobby, mate. But it's your decision at the end of the day. So Dove's granddad was the one struggling to get in, who we've seen racing before, as he goes straight through Rockzilla there. But he's in okay now, so looks like it won't be long till we get started, as it looks like everybody is ready to go. So let's see who can get out for qualifying first. Who's first one on track? He's King Gears, getting the lobby host advantage again, so we'll go on board with him for the first lap, so he can show us all what to do at this track. Yeah, no worries, Steve. It's your choice. It's just a shame because I know you've put in some good practice this week and obviously improved massively. So as we just watch King Gears come to start his first lap now, then. Like I said, I think this car should be good at this shorter version of the track, but I'm not sure how well it'll go with the longer version this week. King Gears, oh, he's gone wide and he's held it. Good hold from King Gears there, but this ain't going to be the best lap. He's definitely going to be able to improve on this. Hey Yvonne, nice to see you. Yeah, definitely, Ray. Yeah, feel free to keep checking back in, Yvonne. Hopefully United Sim Team can have a good race this week. let's flick back through, see who's... So Lucky Bucky's just finished a lap, gone up into 6. King Gear's coming for his 2nd lap now then. We'll be hoping to improve massively on that first one. And he does, puts himself up to 3rd place. So let's see what Rockzilla can do now. He doesn't improve, but he is in 2nd as Baz improves, Slugsy improves, Hansa improves. And Dove's Grandad improves, and Giacala improves. And so does Christian. Rock with a bit of slip, but he's going to follow Slugsy off. He holds it though. And oh, but he goes deep into the corner. That'll be Rock's lap ruined probably. Let's see what Baz can do now. Can he challenge them? No, Baz doesn't improve, but Rosie's does. Rosie's goes up into 2nd there then, but Governor with a 2/10 lead over this short track at the moment. So people will be wanting to improve times here. As further down the field we've got improvements. Let's see how Giacala can do now then. Improved on the last 2 laps, see if they can improve again. As Luca, I believe it is, Red LMR has improved, as Giacala was improving but has gone wide there, but hasn't got a penalty, so possibly still on for an improvement. But might have lost too much time there. No, definitely going to get a penalty there now. Let's move back up. Ost. Let's see what Ost can do now. He's just down on his time by 0.5 but still could be on for an improvement in the Porsche. Which I would imagine would be a fairly decent car around here, but he is 1/10 down now. As King Gears improves and goes up all the way to 2nd there. So good lap from King Gears there. Zost nearly improves. Pretty much identical time to the fastest time he's set so far. Yeah, there's been a few mowing the grass by the looks of it. Very really pushing us. Rosie's looks like it. No, Rosie's holds that. So he did what King Gears did earlier. But will he get in Ost's way now as Ost on a good lap? Yeah, Ost 2/10 up. Ost flying here. So let's see where this will put Ost, whether he's in contention to get in that top 3. But he will have Rosie's slipstream to the line, which will help. So let's see what Ost has done here. Ost has improved, that puts him up to 3rd place. So we've currently got Governor still leading by 1/10 over King Gears, followed by Ost. Rockzilla then. Rosie's just behind, some very close gaps here, and then Slugsy right behind them as well. So final laps now, so let's see who's crossing the line. Where's Governor? Governor's about to cross the line as Tim leaves out, so Tim's done his last lap. And Kingy has done his last lap, so Kingy hasn't improved. Will Governor improve? Governor does improve, goes back 2/10 ahead. So who else is on a lap? Ost doesn't improve. Rockzilla goes off. Slugsy, can he improve? No, he doesn't. Hansa, identical time, he doesn't improve. Who's left on laps? I think that might be everybody now. No, Ost is still on a fast lap. So Oster's got one last chance. No, he crashes into the cars moving around the track. Oh no. Unfortunate there for Ost on his last lap. I think he was the only one left out. He must have crossed the line bang on as the timer run out, but all them slow AI controlled cars obviously got in his way. So we're going to have Governor on pole by 2/10. Amazing lap from Governor there. Followed by Kingy. As I said, this car might be good round here in second. Ost then in a Porsche, which again I thought would be a good car around this smaller version of the track, but might struggle at the bigger version in third. And then Rockzilla, Roses, Slugsy, Baz, Christian, Hansa, Lucky, Giacala, Luca, Dove's Grandad, and then SRT at the back, unfortunately. Oh, and then Tim. So did Tim have issues as well? Yeah, Tim had to leave the room, so we might need to reset the lobby here. So it seems like Tim might have had issues, unfortunately. Hey, Bad Dog. Oh, we got DQ'd. What did he get DQ'd for, eh? Oh, I was going to say DC'd. Yeah, that's what I was presuming it was. Oh, SRT had internet issues. And Tim had internet issues. So, unfortunately, those two will have to go at the back of the grid. But hopefully they'll be able to do something from there. Better than missing out totally. It looks like everyone's ticked in. And Kingy will have to set the grid. To be honest, Ray, you have a 2-day extravaganza most weekends, don't you? So I'm sure we'll be underway soon. Unfortunate for Tim and SRT having to start at the back, though. Because, as I said, I don't think it's going to be easy to overtake. The only thing is, I can see people pushing too hard at this track and crashing, which might help those at the back be able to get through as the carnage goes on ahead. So we'll see what happens. But fantastic lap that we saw from Governor there, though. And Ost with a strange one, get hit in the AI-controlled cars on his fast lap. Strange that the AI-controlled cars don't ghost or at least stay off the racing line, that they just sit slow right on the racing line when there's other people still on fast laps. So very strange there. So it looks like King Ears has got the grid all set now, so we'll be ready to go. Hopefully Tim and SRT don't have any issues during the race. Like I said, be interesting to see how SRT goes. Definitely Bad Dog. I think this small track's just, you know, it's open to a bit of carnage. Hopefully everyone keeps it clean, though, but obviously going to be very easy to get caught up in other people's incidents here. But I definitely think, like Governor's done, Kingy as well, Ost, you want to be there right at the front, hopefully pull away from anything that's going on behind. And that way keep yourself in the clear, but that also involves not making mistakes. And I think we could possibly see people that have crashed be lapped on this one. So that could be an interesting factor to take in that we've not seen so far. Well, I think we had a couple of laps in the first round, but not many. As we may need, yep, back out and change to get our camera view that we want again. So Kingy has took the lead off the line. Great start from that McGann. Really good off the line. Governor filters in behind him, and Ost keeps in that third position with Rockzilla there in fourth. So Slugsy and Baz, with Baz all over the back of Slugsy. And Slugsy is our first one to go mowing. Will he hold it? Yes, he does. Fantastic control there from Slugsy to keep hold of that. But he has lost one place. That was a move up further ahead. That's Rockzilla getting all the way past Ost and Governor there, up into second. So great from Rockzilla there then. As Christiansen up into 7th, but now back down. Oh no, Christian's now all the way up into 6th. So he's coming through well as well now then. Slugsy dropping down the order slightly there. Tim with a very good start coming up through the order. But he just gets offline, has to brake, and Hansa gives him a slight tap, but luckily they all hold it together. But Tim does then get a penalty, unfortunately. So that's going to undo all his hard work at the start of this race. It's happened to SRT then. He's still down near the back, struggling to get through. And unfortunately, Lucky has dropped to the back of the pack. So hopefully he can work his way up again now. And Roses has really dropped down the order, so something's not gone well for Roses off the start. So let's move back up towards the front as we've got Christian now past Baz. So Christian flying now then, but Baz going back past. And Slugsy might look for the move as well here. As Christian is going to try and hold it. Is he? No, he filters back in behind Baz. Hey, Henry. So Baz now with a gap to Governor to catch up. So the top 4 still in touching distance of each other. Then there's a slight gap to Baz, who'll want to close that back into slipstream range. And then there's a few cars in that pack as well. So we're all still very tight up. Hans are the only one in a little bit of no man's land as we see Tim go off, unfortunately, there. Can he hold it together, though? He does. But he might get a penalty again there as SRT comes past. Yeah, Tim, very unfortunate there. Does get reset. I think as he tried to rejoin on the outside, SRT was coming through and give him a slight tap as he rejoined the track, because obviously SRT would have been moving towards the outside of the track. So unfortunate there for Tim. So he's had a good start and then dropped back as Dove's granddad slides it round turn 1 there. So SRT moving up the field, and so is Roses now, after both of them seem to struggle at the start. Giacala with the United Sim team, but an E-Team Brit livery still on there. Going to look to close that gap to Hansa and pull those guys behind with her. So yeah, Hansa now is nearly in the slipstream of Luca, I believe it is. So he'll be hoping to close that gap. But Luca has lost the slip to Slugsy, so they'll be wanting to get that back. But Slugsy all over Baz, and Christian back past up into 4th place now then. So, oh no, Christian had got up into first place earlier, I believe. But he's now, oh no, where's Governor gone? Governor all the way down into 14th, so something's gone terribly wrong for Governor there then. That's what we missed. So that's why everybody at the front is up a place. But Christian in a bit of no man's land, could do with Baz catching him but not fighting him, so that he can catch up to Ost. But there, Ost in 3rd, only a second off the lead, so the front 3 are well in touch with each other here. Kingy's not running away with this one at the moment. Yeah, it does. It looks like that car's a bit of a handful around this shorter track, but he's showed in qualifying it's clearly got the pace. But I know he was sliding a bit off the start where he struggled to get going. So let's see what happens with these front 3 now. Kingy's going to want to keep that lead. As he said, it's not going to be easy to overtake, so these fast drivers, without mistakes, they're not going to find it hard to get past each other. As Os goes a bit deep into that corner then, but Rock gets a good run out. So Willie, he might have the run on King Gears now, but I think he'll be a bit too far behind. We know that Aston will definitely have the straight line speed. Yeah, he does close that gap up to King Gears, but this is where King Gears might be a little bit better. He might be able to carry a bit more speed through this first corner and then the S, as he does pull away from Rock again in that section. So these guys need to hold it close to Kingy as through the S section really, because they've got the pace down into turn 1. Yeah, we'll see if one of them does. I'm presuming they'll be patient, but the later the race goes on, 10 minutes left, so the later it goes on, they might consider going for it if they get half a chance. Yeah, JP, that's a good way of describing it. That it's clearly wants to stay out of everybody's way. I'm surprised it's not put itself back in the pits. Looks like Kingy might start to pull that gap now. Rock's going to have to really push now to stay with him. So we'll see what's going on down the order as Baz is nearly back in the slipstream of Christian. And Christian dropping off us, so that front three have started to pull away from everybody else now. Yeah, that's what I mean, mate. It's very easy to make a mistake at this track, so you've got to keep it clean at the front. There's Christian going purple there with Baz chasing him. Baz has now got a gap to Slugsy. So we've got the front three together, but a few gaps starting to open up now. But Hansa and Luca are very close together here for 7th place. So it's a good little battle going on between these two. But very similar cars, the Jag and the Aston. So, you know, going to be very difficult to make a move against the other person. As Giacala is in a bit of no man's land as well, with SRT chasing down. Lucky up to 11th now then, after not the greatest start to this race, as he gets a bit of tyre smoke going round turn 1. But he's got Governor bearing down on him here. In the same team though, so I presume if Governor does catch, Lucky probably won't put up much of a fight and will probably let him by, knowing that Governor is the faster driver in that team. Dove's Grandad then in 13th in a bit of no man's land, and then unfortunately Roses and Tim are way off the back, so Roses and Tim really struggling, but I know that Supra can be a bit of a handful through corners, so maybe that's where Roses is struggling with the rear end of that Supra. And then Tim, as we saw, had a few unfortunate issues early on, and that's really put him back. But that will give him pole for the second race, as Rock has caught up to King Gears a little bit now. He's still sticking in, but Oster's dropped off. So Oster want to put in a couple of good laps, as Christian has got the fastest lap of the race now. There's a few look like they've had TC on in this one. I thought it might just be down to the track, but maybe some of the cars have reset TC, because that's the only good thing about this game. If you have TC off, then it stays off no matter what car you then use, unlike the old Sport where you used to have to change it individually for every car. And Ost has caught back up to Rockzilla now, but that's because Rockzilla has dropped away from King Gears. So this fight at the front is starting to spread out, but there's still not a lot in it between these three, so they'll be wanting to close that up. But it looks like Christian and Baz have closed up. Yes, they have. Christian maybe had a couple of struggling laps after his really good lap there, and Baz has caught right back up to the back of him. But he's doing a great showing for Asylum Outlaws there in 4th place. But look at all the tyre smoke coming off that Supra. It is a real handful on the rear end, so struggling round turn 1. So it'll be interesting to see in the longer version of the track. The tyre wear could be terrible on that car with a few long corners if it's struggling like that. But Baz is all over the back of him now, putting him under pressure. But we'll see whether he copes with that pressure. He is defending the inside, but Baz ain't going to get the run. problem for Baz here will be that car probably better through this twisty bit, but not got the straight line speed that those other cars have, as Slugsy looks like he's closing the gap now. So we could have a three-way battle for fourth starting very soon, so that'll be an interesting one to watch. As we've got 4 minutes left to go, but Baz goes off. Does he hold it? Yes, he does. But that might be a penalty for Baz. Let's see. No, he gets away with that there, but he might lose the place to Slugsy. No, Slugsy cleverly backs out of that. But Baz looked like he cut a lot of that corner, so will Baz get a penalty this time? No, he's got away with it again, but he has lost the inside to Slugsy. So Baz could get caught out by Hansa as well here. But this is great news for Christian, who's managed to pull away. Does Hansa get Baz as well? No, he can't quite follow Slugsy through. Yet no tyre wear and fuel in this one, JP, but there will be ×4 for both in the other one. As Slugsy now runs wide, you can see all the tyre marks on the grass there. A lot of people running wide in this one. As Baz goes over that curve again, Baz is now struggling under pressure. Will he get a penalty this time, or will he get away with it again? He's got away with it again. He's really riding his luck, but he's lost 2 positions because of it, and he's dropped away from Christian. Maybe we'll get off him, maybe we're putting him off, as Oster's closed up to Rockzilla again, but Kingy has got that 1 second gap now in the lead, as Rockzilla looks like he's really pushing, but he won't want to push too hard and risk that second place, because that'll be a great result. But maybe a mistake from Kingy as that gap comes down now. So the front three still in a battle for what order they're going to be on that podium, but they should, with no mistakes, be on that podium. Christian should have a 4th place locked up now with no errors, but we've got a massive battle here as Baz is back up ahead of Hansa and all over the back of Slugsy now. And they do go too wide through this S section, but Baz has to back out of it, but he still runs wide again. Baz is really taking a risk running wide on the exit of the S section there, because if you do run all wheels off the track, you do pick up a track limits for that. So Baz really wants that 5th place back, but he's really pushing hard and looks like he might make a mistake. But this is one hell of a battle for 5th place now then, between these 3 guys, as Hansa does get on the inside of Baz by the looks of it. Yes, he does, but Baz is going to try and hold it. Hansa does manage to give him space, so Baz is going to have the inside into the first part of the S, but Hansa's going to hold it and have the inside for the second part. A little bit of door banging, but they both hold it well. Hansa's got the inside still now. It's a whole lap side by side. Will either of them back out here through this little chicane? No, they're still going side by side as a little bit of contact pushes Hansa over the chicane and then pushes Baz back, but they both keep going. This is going to allow Slugsy to run off here as Hansa's still got the inside. We've done over a lap now with these two still side by side, but that McGann is better around turn 1 and can just hold it on the outside, unlike the other cars. And Baz does manage to hold that 6th place now. But look how much time they've lost in that battling, and Luca is all over the back of them now as well. So this was a battle for 5th, and it's now looking like a battle for 6th. So fantastic racing there. Slugsy pulls away, Christian pulls away, and Rockzilla all over the back of Kingy now. So Rockzilla getting closer to Kingy as Oster's dropped off. So Rockzilla really pushing, wants that 1st place off Kingy if he can. Yeah, some great racing here, Steve. Sorry if I'm missing bits in the chat. I'm obviously got a lot to watch out for at the moment, which is great. As we come to the final lap, that's a good time for Kingy, as that there wasn't an extra lap. So Kingy is going to take 1st place over Rockzilla there, with Ost in 3rd. Christian coming for 4th, Slugsy 5th. Baz and Hansa coming side by side, run to the line, but Baz is going to get it over Hansa, and then Luca, and then G. Kayla, Governor up to 10th, Bucky 11th. Unfortunately, Tim's been lapped there, but Dove's granddaddy is going to come home in 12th, with Roses in 13th, and Tim in 14th. But unfortunately, SRT must have had issues again as he has dropped off on this race. So unfortunately, SRT having internet issues again. But what an absolutely fantastic race that was. The three at the front was so close for the whole race, but Kingy controlled it. And that battle between Baz and Hansa there was unbelievable, side by side for a lap and a half, which at this track is incredible to do. But Baz will probably be disappointed there. He battled a bit too much at times, and he was well in the battle for fourth and ended up having to battle for sixth instead, but he did get that sixth place, so there is a positive to take from that. And Tim hopefully will have a much better second race starting from the front, as it unfortunately did not go well for him at all in that one. Let's see if I can just catch up on any of the chat I missed. So someone's using Vest's number, I see. One of the new guys, yeah, Christian. Yeah, you can charge him by the minute for the usage of the number, Vest. Tim died again. Oh, did he die again late on? Probably because his race was over. He's probably just pushing that hard to try and get something back. That happens sometimes when you get a bad start, unfortunately. It really did heat up at the end there, Henry. As I said, especially between, well, Christian, Slugsy and Baz were having one hell of a battle. Then that changed to Slugsy, Baz and Hansa. And then that changed to Baz and Hansa with Luca just behind them. So Baz was our main point of focus during that race. He seemed to want to have a battle with pretty much everybody else on track at some point in that. Hey, Lucky, good 11th place there. Shame your teammate, after his great start, ended up dropping down the field for a few mistakes and had to try and come back through. Yeah, like you said, just, you know, you've not been back racing for too long now, so obviously you're going to have to get back into the groove of it a bit. But hopefully this second race will go a bit better, Lucky. He definitely was in that one, JP. As I said, he just wanted to have a fight with everybody he possibly could by the looks of it. But obviously, Bucky Christian picked up some good points for your team there. He had a very good race. So for those that don't know, fuel and tyres will both be at ×4 for this one. And the medium tyres must be used for a minimum of 5 laps. Going off the last couple of rounds, it looks like medium to soft will be the strat, but I have seen tyre wear at this track is very, very bad, so it may be medium to medium for most teams. Oh, as SRT has managed to get back in, so the only one that will be annoyed by that is Tim, as he will obviously drop to second place as SRT will take pole. But yeah, as I was saying, I think the main strategy will be medium for a lot of these guys. There may be a few trying the medium soft, and I think the McGanns will be able to do medium soft, and there may be a couple of people that will take the risk on the medium soft with the extra pit stop this week, just because of the high tyre wear. But I think the McGanns will be the ones with the best tyre wear. Unfortunately, the lack of heavy braking zones at this track could obviously make them struggle against the other teams. I think if they're in the slipstream and stuff, they'll be able to match pace. I just don't know whether they'll have the pace on their own as what some of the other cars will have. Yeah, Steve, that's what I imagine from obviously when I was helping you with a bit of practice, looking at the tyre wear. I think most cars will use medium, but I know that McGann at Red Bull Ring was ridiculously good on its tyres, so especially compared to everybody else. So I think by that matter, I think they will definitely be on the medium soft strategy to try and make up for their slight, well, I don't know whether it'll be a lack of pace, but what I'm guessing will be a slight lack of pace at this track. Yeah, I think a lot of the rear wheel drives like that Supra that we're watching of Christian's now, I don't think could get many laps on the softs either. So as I said, I'm expecting most people to go medium. Possibly the likes of Ost. I don't know. I know the tyre wear used to be quite good on the Porsches, so possibility that Ost might also go medium soft. But I'm the only teams I'm predicting is the team of McGanns. The Furious Three are all in the McGann. As I said, they're the only team I'm predicting to maybe go and use the softs in this one. Yeah, Henry, definitely if you're going for the two-stop, the traffic. I mean, it kind of worked out for Ant a little bit the other week, but I think it was possibly the wrong choice. I do think in general the two-stop this season is going to be a choice that you only make if you sort of need it. You know what, like if you feel like you're really struggling and you're just going to throw caution to the wind and try something totally different. But I think in general, it's going to be medium soft for a lot of the season, and at tracks like this it'll be medium. Be interesting to see if anyone tries to start on the softs though, but as I said, I would predict mediums for everybody off the start, even those that are going to use softs. But have we got any predictions then in chat for the winner of this one? Obviously, King Gears, Rockzilla and Ost all looked really quick in that first race. But obviously they're going to have to come through the pack. And as I said, Kingy is in that McGann. Its main strength is how late it can brake. And I don't quite know if it will be able to make the most of that at this track. Because basically there's only two real heavy braking zones at this track. Well, maybe three. So, but really only two really big ones. Three sort of where you have to 100% brake, but everywhere else you're not really even getting on the brakes 100%. Yeah, hey Sophie, we noticed that early on. Said the E-Team Brit, but still a nice looking livery. We obviously know what team they're racing for though. Hopefully I've been pronouncing the name right, Giacala, but if I'm wrong I do apologise. So you're going to roadblock him from the chat this time, Henry, not just on the track. You didn't do a very good job in the first race of stopping him, though. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Steve. I think the Megans here, they're going to struggle to get past people because it's a very fast-flowing track, and their real strength is on the brakes, and they're not really going to be able to take advantage of that. So I think that could be Kingy's problem in this one. I think in clear air, he's probably not too far off the pace. And as I said, I think he'll be able to use softs, which will be an advantage. But I just don't know if he'll get held up too much trying to come through the pack, because he won't be able to sort of send it into the heavy braking zones, which is what that car does to get through the field. Oh, have you broke the gopher again, Henry? I suppose someone's got to break the gopher. It breaks every couple of days, so might as well be you breaking it. Move on to someone else then. Dove's granddad in the Jag. No, the tyre wear at Red Bull in the Jag didn't look as good as I would have maybe expected it to be, so I think this car will definitely be a medium runner. But from what I've noticed of Dove's granddad so far, he's a very solid, consistent driver, so he picks up the points as it goes along. You seem to curse everything though, Henry. No, Steve, what I'm saying, I think the Megans will be medium to soft and still do the same strategy as everyone else. So let's have a quick flick through if we notice anyone. No, it appears everybody is starting on mediums, but we're obviously going to have to exit out again, unfortunately, to get the view we want. Move down the order a little bit. Bloody hell, everybody's got different speed of starts there, but luckily there's quite wide track at turn 1 here, and to be honest, quite wide at most places. There's a few lose out, but Tim takes the lead off SRT off the start there. So let's see if Tim and SRT work together now, and Governor. So Governor, obviously that poor race puts him near the front, and we know he is fast, so if he can keep that car under control, he will maybe have a chance at pulling away here. Baz has done well off the start there. Starting sort of midway through the pack, he's really got going. So Baz up to 4th already, so he'll be in a good position in this one. First heavy braking zone, and you see Baz was looking to the inside there. As SRT gets back past Tim by the looks of it, which he does. But he has to give Tim space on the outside, so Tim might look at getting this back here. But SRT is going to have the inside into the long left-hander. So let's just jump back through the field and see how those that started at the back are doing. All 3 of them still at the back, so Kingy, Austin, Rockzilla not having much luck at the start of this race at gaining a few positions, and Christian as well. So the top 4 from the last race are still the bottom 4 as it stands. So looking to make some moves now then. See how Slugsy's getting on against Bucky, so they're now side by side. But Bucky is going to have the inside into the hairpin, so that'll be an advantage. As what's happened to SRT then, he's dropped down a bit as Baz Giacala has got through as well, up into 3rd there. And Tim and Governor at the front as Giacala gets a big slide, but holds it very well there. Loses a position because of that though, but holds that fantastically as Baz picks up a penalty. So that's not good news for Baz, going to have to serve that on the straight. So let's go on board with Baz. And let's see how many places he loses from... Oh, no, he's not going to serve it till the next lap. So that's probably good news for Baz. He has another lap to try and open up these gaps a little bit so he doesn't get caught behind people. Yeah, a few of them looking a bit slidey so far. But Governor has got through into the lead now. If I was Tim, I'd just be trying to hold on to him because we know how fast Governor is. So if I was Tim, I'd be just using Governor to pull me along, especially when that car's so much faster in a straight line. So see how long Tim, because if Tim here can use Governor to pull a gap, that could get him a good finish again after his podium finish last week. Baz battling away now with Giacala and Luca, so getting teamed up on there by United Sim Racing. But he has got the inside, but he's really having to defend again, so that's allowing those front two to pull away now. But one of them is his teammate, so he's probably not too worried about that. But let's go back through. Kingy has got through to 9th. So out of the top 3 from the last race, he has done the best at getting through. As Os now is in 12th, looking to get by Slugsy and Hansa, but struggling a bit there. As we saw something in the background, was that Rockzilla? Did Rockzilla slide off in the background there? He's really struggling after a very good first race. And Christian really struggling to get through as well. But there's Baz. No, Baz must have had a crash. Yes, Baz has got damage all over and still got that penalty to serve. So things going horribly wrong for Baz here after a fantastic first 2 corners, getting himself all the way up into that top 4. He's now right back at the back of the pack. The damage has now gone, but he does have that penalty to serve. So that's terrible news for Baz there. But Oster's now got through a bit more as SRT disconnects again. Unfortunate for SRT there. So Oster up into 9th. Where's Kingy? Kingy has got up into 6th now. So Kingy is close to this front group now, as he does look for a move on Giacala now. And he does get to the inside, so yeah, but he doesn't fully get alongside. So Giacala just swoops around the outside and holds that position now then. Yeah, SRT DC'd again. Oh, so Paul finished 3rd in his race, but was getting the freezing on the PS4 again, unfortunately. So great result there for Paul. Presuming they'll be starting their next race soon, if not already. Yeah, Henry thinking Governor's going to run away here, which I don't think anyone will argue with that. That's why I said Tim needs to just hang with him as long as he can. Let's see. No, Tim has dropped off. So Governor's really flying now. So Governor's got the advantage, but we saw how much of a handful Governor was finding that car at the short track. So let's see what happens here, because if he makes a big mistake, then it'll all go wrong for him. But it's his race to control from this point on, I think. So Tim now got a 3-second lead over 3rd, as these guys are still battling away, as Luca now comes through up into 3rd place. So these guys are losing a lot of time really battling away here, and Kingy's just trying to pick his way through this. And Ost is not far behind there, but Ost still struggling to get by Slugsy, it seems. And Kingy does now gain an extra position, so up into 5th now then. Kingy's issue will be, can he run away from these guys if he gets through? As did I see Ost coming through there? No, that was Slugsy, both in green liveries there, so I wasn't quite sure who I saw. That was Slugsy going for the move on Roses. And again, can Ost follow him through? Slugsy gets through, can Ost get through? No, he can't. So Ost just struggling in that Porsche to make his way through this pack. But this is one hell of a group now. We've got 3rd place all the way down to 9th place. So we've got 6 cars well and truly battling away with each other here. as Tim not dropping too far off Governor by the looks of it. But look, you can already see the tyre wear difference between these two cars. As Luca still holding third place there, and he has started to pull a bit of a gap from Lucky, who's doing well to still hold fourth, but Kingy is all over the back of him now. But Caleb all over the back of Kingy is as well. This is one hell of a fight at the moment between these guys. They are losing time, but they're all thinking of their own races, and with them all being so close, you don't want to let a car by, because if you do, you risk getting passed by 3 or 4 that are behind them as well. Will Kingy go for it? He not quite managed to get on the inside of Lucky there, but he has got onto the outside of him, but he's going to struggle here. He's going to do the cutback, I imagine. But Giacala looking for it. See, as Kingy looks for the move, he's risking Giacala going for the move behind. As Luca's starting to gain on Tim now. So has Tim made a mistake, maybe? So Luca's starting to reel Tim in a bit as Governor extends that lead. So let's just see what's going on at the back. We've got Dove's granddad not far off Rockzilla. So Rockzilla come back through the pack now. Dove's granddad will hope to do more than this. He's not having as good a showing as he's shown in the past so far. And Christian, same as Rockzilla, struggling. But these guys are not far. Oh yeah, they are, sorry, 5 seconds. I saw Hansa then. I thought that was that group, but it wasn't. It was Hansa, sorry. So we've got a bit of a group here. These will need to work together, because Baz, Christian and Rock, after that first race, will really be wanting to get through these guys, but they've got a bit stuck. I wonder if any of these will go for any sort of different strategy, take a risk maybe. But Hansa now has got Baz all over the back of him. Let's move back to the front and see what's going on in this big battle as Kingy does get by. So Kingy has now pulled away from Lucky as Giacala gets by Lucky as well there. So he's pulling in Luca now, and I presume he'll get past Tim fairly easily, being teammates. I can't see Tim fighting Kingy too much. He will probably let him by and use Kingy to pull him along. But Kingy first will have to get past Luca, which will slow Luca down, who has been catching Tim. So Tim will want Kingy to slow Luca down and get by him, and then go and help pull Tim along. But Noah said that car just can't quite get the run, unfortunately. It does look like Luca might have gone a little bit deep. No, he gets it back to that apex very nicely there. So he's still gaining on Tim here. So Tim's in worry of getting swallowed up by this pack again now that he broke away from. As Governor, though, he's maybe suffering with tyre wear now, because he's no longer pulling away at the same sort of speed as he was earlier on. So Giacala has now got through that group, and Slugsy coming through as Bucky drops to the back of that group now and drops off, unfortunately. Bucky was doing really well fighting there, but those guys have finally got through on him. And Ost is now still all over the back of this group and just can't seem to get through. So he's really got caught out here, Ost, in this one. As we see someone run wide there, it was Giacala. That will let this group close up. The problem is here, I think all these guys will think they're fast enough. So will they work together? But none of them will want to give up a place to work together, because they'll all probably think they're fast enough to catch these guys up ahead. Yeah, Henry, tyre wear is brutal at this track with some of these cars. That's why I'm saying I think most will go medium. And as I said, I think the only ones are the Megans that might go medium soft, but even they might have to go medium. And if they have to go medium, that might bring the 2-stop into play for a lot of the other cars. But it is a 50-minute race, and we're only 12.5 minutes into it. So you're going to be wanting to get to at least 25 minutes before pitting. As Luca pulls out for the move on Tim now then, and does get that move done. I'd said Tim was in, might get reeled back into this pack behind. But he does get back alongside Luca. They're going to go side by side through the S's here. This is going to be difficult. But great drive. Very smart driving from Luca there. He backed out of that one, filtered back in behind, not to allow Kingy to get him. But Kingy might get the inside on him now behind his teammate. But no, look at that. Lucas all the way around the outside. Will he hold it? Slight tap there, but nothing too major as Tim does hold on to that. But that allows Kingy to get through. So great driving there. And I'm presuming if Tim gets the chance without letting Luca through, he'll let Kingy through. And he has let Kingy through, but he has lost that place to Luca. But he is going to have the inside. Will Luca be able to hold this round the outside? He does. But Tim's going to have the inside for the next corner now then. As they're still side by side. So great little battle here between Luca and Tim now then. Yeah, the front right is the one that will be taking the biggest kick in here. And I'm starting to look at this tyre wear on some of these cars and thinking the two-stop might be the way to go. People maybe pitting onto another set of mediums and then going for softs at the end, as Luca and Tim unfortunately have a coming together. Not quite sure, didn't quite see what was in that, but it looked like both of them locked up. But Luca does wait for Tim. But Tim gets going again and slides, and that allows Luca straight back past. So not quite sure what happened with that one. But there was definitely contact, but it did look like both of them maybe went a bit deep on their own. But then it did look like Luca knocked Tim off, but he did give the place back and wait. But then Tim slid as he tried to get going again. So it'll be interesting to see later on what happened there. So what's Roxzilla? And Giacala must have had an issue. We missed that. Giacala was doing really well in this race, but has unfortunately dropped back and has now got a penalty. As Roxzilla and Christian still really struggling here, unfortunately. As someone peels into the pits already, it is Luca that peels into the pits. So I said it might be the two-stop on. That's definitely a two-stop, I imagine. I mean, actually, are hard tyres available for this one, Ray? Maybe give us the answer. I'm sure they are. So maybe someone will go to hards, but I doubt it, because I just think the time deficit on hards would just be way too big. But Roses is now up into third, and that's good for Ost. With all those little things happening, that's meant he's got through that group. As Slugsy maybe got caught slightly with that issue between Tim and Luca there, because he's dropped back as well. But yeah, looking at this tyre wear, I'm starting to think the two-stop might be the way to go in this one for the first time. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well, Stephen Henry, that the time deficit, you're better off with the pit stop, because there is quite a big time deficit to them hards. As Governor now got a 6-second lead over Kingy here. So Governor is in control, but I mean, even that McGann's not doing too great on tyres. And that is probably the best car on the tyres, or from what we've seen so far anyway. So this may now be a two-stop for everybody. But I presume a lot will still try the medium. Because you need to go another 8 minutes or so, really, to put another set of mediums on. I imagine the front guys are not going to risk the two-stop with the traffic. They're just going to put up with the tyre wear and hopefully get far enough into the race to do the pit stop. As Governor did make a bit of an error there and has lost half a second. Yeah, you're going to be wanting to stop. As I said, you're going to want to go longer on your first stint, probably, just to play it safe. You don't want to end the race with the really bad tyres. I would suck up the bad tyres in the first stint just to get that extra lap in, maybe, to guarantee you getting to the end of the race and still having tyres available. So Kingy has pulled a gap, and Roses and Ost. So I wonder if these two will work together now. Different styles of car. With Ost in the Porsche, normally better handling, but that Supra very good in a straight line, but a bit twitchy on the rear end under braking. So I wonder if these guys will work together now, try and close that front two down. Baz now catching back up after his early issues. But 4 seconds to Ost now and 13.5 seconds off the lead. But Bucky's back up into 6, which will be good news for Bucky there. Slugsy in 7th, so he's got back past Tim. So Tim, after his good start with that unfortunate incident, is now struggling. Hansa and Rockzilla battling away, so Rockzilla has got back onto the back of this group now. But Gia Kayla was going really well early on, unfortunately has all gone wrong in this one. Luca being the... No, Christian has pitted as well, as we see him off the track there. So that's maybe Christian's issue. He's struggling to control that car at this track. So he has just come into the pits. And Luca has pitted as well. And Luca has put the softs on. So we'll see now, is Luca going softs? And then he's going to make a decision for his second pit stop, whether the softs will last or whether they'll need another set of mediums. So he did have a bit of an issue after a good start to this race, so maybe he's thrown a bit of caution to the wind and is going to try something a little bit different to everybody else. So that'll be an interesting to watch later on in this race. So let's move back forward now as we see a spinner. Who was that? Well, I'm sure we saw the spinner there. Who was it? It was Bucky. Unfortunately, it was Bucky there. So bad news for Bucky. He's got that. Yeah, look at them tyres are absolutely dead, and we're only... See, people are going to struggle here to put another set of mediums on. A lot of these guys, 5 minutes, really, they need 5 more minutes on these mediums. Slugsy, Baz, Kingy, Tim should all be all right, but Roses, Ost is going to be very close to whether he has any tyres left, who has now passed Roses. So Ost up into the podium places now, as Roses starting to struggle with them tyres. So Roses is going to struggle to do another 5 minutes, so that's another 2 laps Roses is going to have to do on these tyres. So I do think that the medium is going to be the way everybody goes here, other than those that are going to risk a slightly different strategy. Governor back up to a 6-second lead now, but he's got the rest of this lap. He might have another 2 laps, really, he needs to do on these tyres, and it does not look like those tyres, that front right, will last another 2 laps at all. This is the only negative with not having brake balance, unfortunately. It is a slight issue with the game. I wouldn't consider in race cars brake balance to be a tuning part, as most race cars nowadays do have the ability to adjust the brake balance. And as you can see, look at the rear tyres on that car, are perfectly fine. It's just them front ones, especially that front right, is just dying a death there. So let's see when he comes in. So if everyone keeps an eye on that, see if they spot him come in, as Ost will look to close that gap down to King Gears now. He's had to be patient, Ost, but he has managed to get through that pack eventually. He's kept it clean and made the most of it, but he was struggling to get through, as Roses has got a penalty, so that'll close Baz right up. And Baz with the better tyres, so I think Roses is just trying to cling on now to get to his pit stop with them tyres. Yeah, Steve, that's what I mean. He's going to be a bit faster. Luca, that is. But obviously he's still going to get that tyre wear, and he'll have to make a decision in his final pit stop then as to whether he'll use mediums again or whether the softs have lasted long enough. Let's see how close to Rose's Baz gets now as Rose's comes to serve his penalty. So that's going to allow Oss to just pull away a little bit. So Baz having a good recovery here after his early struggles. So yes, Baz is going to be right back up behind Roses now, but Roses is going to hold this position, I believe. Yes, he is. So let's move back down the order now then. So we've got Slugsy in 6th in a bit of no man's land, and Tim in a bit of no man's land in 7th. Rockzilla now up to 8th. So Rockzilla's really struggled, but he is starting to come through now as we're getting towards the main pit stop phase of this race. Hands are now dropping away, unfortunately, and Luca is gaining. I don't think Luca's put enough fuel in. He's going to run out of fuel before he's used all them tyres. So he's going to have to fuel and put the mediums on. So Luca's thrown caution to the wind with this strategy after that issue, but he's maybe got it slightly wrong with winging it a little bit. Christian struggling there, and Bucky struggling as well, unfortunately. But both these guys have pitted as Bucky goes for the slide for us there. So we'll get off Bucky. We don't want to jinx him as Giacala, after a fantastic start, everything's gone all wrong, and they have gone for softs. So this is full fuel but soft tyres. So this is very ambitious from Giacala. I'm presuming they're going to come in again for another set of softs. Then surely not going to try and get to the end of this race. And Dove's Grandad on mediums in front in the same team. So Dove's Grandad might move out the way if he gets chance here and let his teammate by. Yeah, he pulls to the outside of the track. Good driving from Dove's Grandad there. Knows that the teammate is on... oh, yeah, they do back out of it. Thought they were going to fight it back then, but no. No, the teammates just come in the pits. He's faster than them on fresher, faster tyres. So just let them go. Don't hold your teammate up too much. So fantastic driving from Dove's Grandad there. So let's move back to the front as Governor... Like I said, look at that tyre where he's really... Is he going to come in this lap? He's going to have to, I think. If I was it, I think he needs to go one more. It's going to depend where the end of this race comes. He could have no tyres come the last lap of this race, as Kingy will stay out another lap, which I think is the better option. But you can see that tyre wear difference making a factor. Will anyone else come in? Osti's going to come in. Yeah, his tyres are struggling. But I think Baz has come in a lap too early on that car. Who else has come in then? Roses, Will, Tim, and Tim as well. If I was Tim and Baz, I would have been doing one more lap, as this lets Luca through. And Rockzilla is going to go for one more lap. He's struggling with tyre wear, but I think he's thinking of the long run on that second stint, making sure he's got tyres left at the end of the race. Because the last thing you want to do is bin it on the final lap, as Governor is out of the pits. Ost out now with Baz, and Rose is right behind him. Let's see what's... So these guys haven't pitted yet. So Governor has gone on to mediums as expected. So has Oss. So these are going to the end. And Baz. But Baz runs wide there on them cold tyres. And he crashed. Oh no, Baz. He's done the same as what he did in the first stint. He's just made a big error at the wrong point there as we're going through tyres. But Roses has put softs on. So Roses may be going for soft to soft now with no more fuel. But if I was Roses, I wouldn't have fueled the car up full if that was my strategy. Because I can't see soft tyres getting to the end on that car. Govs isn't in the Sylvia, Steve. I believe Govs is in the Aston Martin. You don't have to have the same car in this. You just have to have the same drivetrain as your teammate. I believe the only team that does have the same car for everybody is Kingy, Baz and Tim. I may be wrong, but I think that's it. Is Gov in the Sylvia? I thought he was in the Aston the other weeks. No, the Jag. Oh, Governor, sorry. I'm on about Doves there. It may possibly be. Yes, they have got very different wings on. So I'm presuming that those wings don't make any difference as Kingy comes in now. So let's see what the gap is to Gov when he comes out. And actually, it might be worth seeing where Ost is, because Ost was about 3.5, 4 seconds behind Kingy. Yeah, sorry, Ray, I was getting confused with Dove's granddad then, so that's what confused me. And Luca back in the pits as well, because of him not putting any fuel in. So I think Luca's going to have to go on to the mediums then to the end of this race. As Oster's lost ground to Kingy there. Oster's definitely lost ground to Kingy there. And Kingy has gained ground on Governor there. But Kingy has gone for the softs. That's why Kingy did the extra lap. Like I said, he has gone for that soft strategy. So Kingy going all out for the win here, but may struggle with tyres at the very end of this race, especially if he slides around the corner like that. But this will be an interesting one to see from Kingy now. But staying out that extra lap has gained him some time on Gov. But Slugsy is still out. Slugsy taking them NSX tyres right to the brink. So that NSX, the tyre wear's not the best, but it looks very even on that car, which is a big advantage. I think only some of them do, Steve. I don't think all the wings have a PP effect. So I think that might be the difference. So I wonder if we're going to see Slugsy go for the soft tyre strategy here now as well. So we have got more strategies than we maybe expected at the start of this race. Governor is the one in control at the moment, but he is going to have Kingy as chasing him down on a softer compound. Both of them are going to be very, very short on tyres come the end of this race. So it'll be very interesting to see how that'll play out at the end of this race for those two. Yeah, Ray, I think with that even one more than Kingy, he's definitely going for the softs. I thought Kingy would have gone for the mediums, personally. But as we said, the McGann tyre wear is better than others, so he's obviously thrown caution to the wind. He may struggle on the last lap. It's all going to depend when the timer runs out. If the timer runs out just after these guys cross the line, that could be an issue for both of them on the last lap not having tyres. But if the timer runs out when they're over halfway round the lap, that could be good news for them. So it'll be interesting to see where this race ends as Slugsy does now come into the pits. But Rosie's now on them soft tyres has got back over Ost. So I wonder whether Ost noticed whether Rosie's put softs on or not, because they were in the pits at the same time, as we do see Slugsy put on softs. So if Ost knows Rosie's is on softs, he may be willing to let Rosie's by if Rosie's gets the chance and use Rosie's, knowing that Rosie's tyres are going to die at the end of this race. So Slugsy has come out just ahead of Luca there, and Luca did put softs back on. So Luca's going to try and go to the end of this race on softs, but I think that could be a struggle in that car. But he's making the most of an alternate strategy after a struggling start, and he is up into 6th place. So this could be a fantastic drive from Luca. Lucky Bucky up into a 7th place now, but he may have to pit again as he come in quite early for new tyres because he was struggling. Christian again coming very early because he was struggling, so he's definitely going to have to pit again, but he will be able to pit onto softs and will have a last minute charge. Tim unfortunately has dropped down the order to 9th, and there's a bit of a gap to everybody else, but there are a few in front of him that have to pit again, whereas Tim will be going to the end of this race on those tyres, so that'll come into factor. Rockzilla is still struggling down in 10th with a few to pit ahead, but Rockzilla's unfortunately not had the best race after a very good first race. Giacala probably won't get them softs to the end of the race, I don't think. but it'll be interesting to see if they try. Baz is going to have took some wear out of his tyres with that crash off the right at the start of this stint, and he's obviously dropped himself back. So Baz been very up and down in both races here, shown a lot of pace, but has made a lot of mistakes in both races as well. So it'll be interesting to see where Baz can get back up to, but he's going to struggle to get back up too far up the field here. He may be looking at a couple of cars ahead still to pit, maybe an 8th place at a guess at this moment, but we'll see later on. And unfortunately, Dove's granddad is not having the greatest race in this one, after I praised him at being so consistent, but maybe he's just lacking on overall pace at this one. As Kingy does make the move for the lead, so Kingy making use of them soft tyres now. So Kingy's going to want to pull away from here. But if I was Dove's, I'm going to want to get this move back, because I don't want Kingy running away from me here, because Gov will have no tyres at the end of this race as well, because his tyre wear is worse. But Kingy might lose his tyres sooner because of being on them softs. So we'll see how much these two battle. But it does look like Kingy, just that tyre advantage, Gov can't get him back. Gov does have the better speed, but Kingy has at the moment got the grip through those corners that Gov does not have. Yeah, just missed the move. We just saw the end of it as Kingy had got by, but didn't quite see what actually happened. But this will be good news for Ost. If these two fight, this might allow Ost to come back into the fight somewhat. Yeah, that's one way of playing it, but it's can he hold on to Kingy? Whereas if he gets back past Kingy, then he can hold Kingy up. And as I said, he'll know he only pitted a lap earlier, and look, even though Kingy's on the softs, Gov's tyre wear is still much worse, so Gov ain't going to have a tyre wear advantage at the end of this race. He may get one lap where his tyres are better than Kingy's, but I think the tyre wear is going to be very similar for these two. So that's why I said personally I think Gov would want to get back by him quick and hold him up, because he's going to struggle to hold on to him now. And Kingy will want to use the most of them soft tyres while he's still got them. Yeah, that as well, Henry, that's what I mean. That's why I think Gov would have wanted to get back ahead and kill the soft tyres of Kingy, but now there's a 1.5 second gap without Kingy making a mistake. That could be the win gone for Governor. Kingy could have played this race fantastically here, but it'll all come down to the end and how the tyre wear is. Ost is obviously going to look to try and catch up, but Ost should have another 3rd place in this one quite easily without a mistake. And Luca now up into 4th place. And I think Luca, unless he's misfueled, Luca should be able to go to the end of this race now, because he pitted a lot later, but he did go on them softs, and the wear is quite bad on that car by the looks of it. And Slugsy up into 5th now will go to the end of the race. So Slugsy's strategy really paying off now. Them others ahead have had to pit. But Roses has made an error. No, he's come back into the pits. He's come back in for another set of softs like we said he might do. So Roses now is going to look to fly through these guys. So that's why Roses has dropped down. But where can he get to? I don't think Roses will get any higher than 6. I think he'll struggle to catch Slugsy, because Slugsy's also on the softs. So Tim will be looking to get a 6th place now. I don't think he'll be able to get any higher. His issue is going to be he's got the speed of Rockzilla and Roses right up behind him. So Tim's going to have a real fight on his hands to keep those two at bay, I imagine. But he did some fantastic defending last week. Giacala in a little bit of no man's land, but Baz not far behind. But yeah, I think Baz 9th place maybe. I don't even think Baz will get up to 8th. So I think Baz now is his race has all gone wrong with those mistakes. Hansa might try. No, Hansa's tyres are gone. So Hansa's race is done as well. So Bucky now has done his last pit stop. So Bucky going to try and make his way through. But 11th, possibly 10th with errors for Bucky there. Bucky's still got a chance at 10th, I imagine. And then Christian probably going to have to settle, same as Dove's granddad, towards the back of this field, unfortunately, after some good driving earlier on from those guys. It does appear to be on the fairly bad side, and it is a heavy car, so that's not that surprising, especially around a track like this. As Kingy now is nearly up to 4 seconds this lead. But let's check the tyre. Yeah, Gov's tyres are now better than Kingy's, but he doesn't need his to be better than Kingy's. He needs Kingy's tyres to totally die off. And we wonder with the strategy, Kingy does put a lot of practice into these races. He does tend to be the man that knows what the fastest strategy is, and he is very good at pulling off that strategy as well in the race under pressure. So I'm sure Kingy knows what he's doing here, but it wouldn't be a surprise to see Gov come back at him as this stint goes on. But I don't think there's going to be enough, because there's 10 minutes left, and I don't think that tyre wear is going to kick in enough for Gov to take advantage of it. So it looks like our top 3 without a major mistake might be settled. But saying that, Luca is closing in on Ost. But Luca has a hell of a lot less fuel than everybody else by the looks of it. So I don't know if Luca's got his fuel wrong, unfortunately. And his tyres are dying off, so Luca may have took a big risk and may have got his strategy wrong. Yeah, to be fair to Kingy, I think Kingy's very good at the strategies when he practices them, because he knows he tests out multiple strategies as far as I'm aware. So he does get a gauge of what's most likely, and he does get a gauge during the race of whether it's worth switching to one of the other strategies as well. It is one thing he is very good at. And Slugsy, so Slugsy still has a chance at a podium here, I reckon. He's, what, 3 seconds behind Ost on the medium tyres. And we've seen how fast in other races that NSX can be. So that'll be interesting to see with Slugsy now then. But Slugsy and Ost are teammates. So it'll be interesting to see. But I think they will battle it out because, yeah, as Luca does have to pull back into the pit. But we'll see where Luca comes out now then, because this could be interesting. Luca could still be on for the 6th place depending where he comes out, because he's going to have very fresh tyres and he's not going to have to put much in. As we said, Tim's going to have a right battle with Roses and Rockzilla, and that battle is happening now, but Roses has got on the inside. As we see Luca come out the pit, so Luca definitely still has a chance at this 5th place here. He's definitely not out of it with these fresh tyres. He definitely has a chance at this 5th place, but he may now have put too much fuel in. So he may have done the opposite mistake as to before. So this could be a good battle to watch out for 5th place, because we've got 4 cars here that easily any of them could finish in 5th. So if anyone in the chat has any bets they want to put on which one of these 4 guys is going to take home that 5th place, then let me know. And let me know if you think Slugsy will manage to get Ost, because he is bringing that gap down to Ost. It was 3 seconds about a lap ago. It's now down to 2.2 seconds, so that gap is coming down at a fair rate. Ost is starting to struggle now. Kingy looks like he's got the win. Yeah, because look, Gov's tyres. See what I mean? Gov's tyres are... Now that Kingy's got to the same wear rate, he's not gaining any advantage with them tyres. So Kingy's got this win in the bag without a big mistake now then. But we're going to have a very, very interesting fight for third place, because I can't see us giving this up too lightly, because there's nearly a 20-second gap back to everybody else. So Slugsy and us can easily lose 2 or 3 seconds a lap to the end of this race, battling it out, and they're not going to come under threat from those guys behind. So Ost is not going to just let Slugsy go by, even though these guys are teammates. Both of them are going to want that podium place. But at the moment, I can't see Ost being able to hold off Slugsy. But saying that, Slugsy's tyres now are starting to go the same way as Ost. So it could be interesting to see what happens with this little battle. As Rosie's has pulled away from Tim, but Tim's doing a good job of holding up Rockzilla and Luca here, and Luca has got by Rockzilla. So Rockzilla really struggling in this race for some reason, because there's someone in the same car as him that's got by, and he does swoop round the outside of Tim there. Fantastic move there from Luca. So can Luca chase after Rosie's? If Luca gets his 5th place back, then he's pulled off a fantastic strategy, and maybe if he had gone with better strategy in mind and not had that issue early on, he could have well and truly been in the battle for the podium place here. But it does look like he's going to take home fastest lap, as I can't see anyone taking that off him other than himself, looking at everybody's tyre wear at the moment. Exactly, Steve. Catching's one thing, getting past is another. And as I said, you can see the tyre wear is now switched in Ost's favour. Ost has the tyre wear favour, but Slugsy is still on that better compound, and them tyres are not dead yet. So this is probably the battle to watch at the moment. But that NSX has got the straight line speed. Does Ost defend? He doesn't have to at the moment, but Slugsy pulls out late, but no, Ost manages to... No, Ost slides a little bit there. That slide costs Ost. That slide has cost Ost that position after it looked like he held on to it. So Slugsy has got by, but will Ost go for it again? He needs to get back by very quickly, or Slugsy is going to run away here, I imagine. Because that NSX is definitely faster than that Porsche in a straight line. It was a good move, Ray. As I said, Ost just slid the car midway around that corner. That just gives Slugsy, after it looked like Ost had defended it, just gives Slugsy that opening to get on the power earlier than Ost and take that place on the exit. And he does run away now, but we'll see whether Slugsy's tyres die or not. Kingy's tyres, 5 minutes left, are going to be very, very close. It's going to depend on when that timer ends and how many laps these guys have to do in this one. But Gov is going to struggle with tyres as well. I can't see Slugsy gaining on Gov now too much, because his tyres are getting to that point where he's going to really struggle now. Ost needs to cling on to Slugsy, so if his tyres do die, he can get that position back. Look like what we said, Luca's all over the back of Rosie's now. So Luca's going to do a fantastic drive if he gets back up to 5th place here. And tyre wear difference, I can't see Rosie's holding Luca off here. The tyres, Luca's just got a huge tyre advantage. Yes, Henry, tyres will be very close for them guys. Yeah, Luca's flying here. We've seen some fantastic driving. Shame he had that slight coming together with Tim earlier on, but it didn't look anything malicious. It just looked like one of those unfortunate incidents between two cars that were, before that, had 2 laps of really battling strong by the looks of it, and he does get by Rosie's fairly easily there, as we expected. But Rosie's probably had a fairly good recovery in this race to 6th place as well anyway, because he's had his struggles during this one. Ost, I don't think he's going to get that 3rd place back, even if the tyres... Actually, tyres might fully go on Slugsy. Kingy should just be all right unless he has to do an extra lap. Slugsy may struggle. Ost might be able to get Slugsy back here, but there might not be enough time. Slugsy might have pulled enough of a gap. Rosie's trying to stick with Luca here to go for another move, as Rock did get by Tim, so Tim dropped down to 8th there. Lucky, fantastic drive from Lucky to get back up into a 9th place here on a slightly alternate strategy to a few others as well. There's been a lot more strategies in play in this one. Baz, we said he was going to struggle to get any higher than 10th, but he'll give it his best to close Lucky down in these last couple of laps, but I don't think he's quite going to be able to do anything about that. As Christian and Hansa having a good little fight at the back there as Hansa gets that position. Both pitted again for softs by the looks of it. And Dove's unfortunately out on his own there. So not been the best race for him. As Kingy's tyre's going to die. But he's only going to have one more lap to do after this. No, he's not. This is going to be close for Kingy. He might be the only one to get another lap anyway. So Kingy should be all right for the win. Gov should be all right for second. Slugsy's tyre has gone now. Where is Ost? Where is Ost? Slugsy's front tyre has now gone. But that he looks like he pulled out enough of a gap that I don't think Ost is going to be able to catch him. Because Ost might be fuel saving here. Ost might be struggling on fuel. As well as tyres. Yeah, Ost is definitely fuel saving here. Ost is losing time to Slugsy. Yeah, look, he's really lifted. Ost is fuel saving massively here, I think. So Slugsy's going to get that podium place. So a great drive from Slugsy. Luca's really pulled that gap down to Ost, though. Luca absolutely flying at the final stint of this. It is, Henry, definitely awesome recovery by Luca. Yeah, he had that incident, and I think he then threw caution to the wind with the strategy. So has everyone? Yes, everyone's going to finish on this lap as Kingy's tyres just go. This is what I was on about. Look, if that timer had gone 30 seconds later, Kingy would have been struggling on that last lap. But fantastic strategy from Kingy, pulls out the win. So well-deserved win from Kingy there as he flashes across the line. Governor, a well-controlled race, but unfortunately the tyre wear on his car has meant he couldn't take that win, but he's done nothing wrong on his drive. Slugsy, fantastic to come through to 3rd place. Ost holding on for the 4th, so after a struggle at the start, fantastic from Ost. Luca with probably one of the better drives today, coming home in 5th. With Rosie's taking 6th place. Rockzilla does recover after a struggle at the start to get 7th. Tim does well to keep that mid position and take 8th. Lucky with a fantastic race after really struggling in the first one is going to take home 9th. And something has happened to Baz again as Gia Kayla is going to recover to a 10th place. So Gia Kayla showed some real pace in this one, but unfortunately things went wrong. Baz, probably a race he'll want to forget about. A lot gone wrong for him. Too many errors at important positions there. Hansa in 12th. Christian bringing it home in 13th. And then Doves is going to bring us home in 13th. Unfortunately, not the best race for Doves, but he's kept it going. So, obviously, there's never any higher praise than keeping going to the end when you're not having a great race. Yeah, everyone did fantastic there. You say unlucky to Bucky there, Vest. I think with the fact he was in one of the highest tyre wear cars and some of the guys he was up against, I think a 9th place is a fantastic result there for Bucky. So I don't think Bucky will be too disappointed with that at all. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think he should be disappointed with that. I think a 9th place with how that strategy went for him, and how much he struggled with tyre wear and the fact that he had a few little incidents, I think 9th place is more than great for Bucky. It was, Henry, a very good... We had a lot of fights all over the place in both races, and I can only remember one incident really that might get reported, but I doubt it because it did look like there wasn't much in it, and Luca did look like he gave the position back to Tim afterwards, so I can't see any issues with this one. So fantastic driving from everybody, which is what we want to see. So we'll just do a quick little rundown then as they're still going round. So Kingy first with a great strategy. Gov from the front after the bad first race, controlled the race, but just couldn't cope with the tyre wear on that car, and just Kingy with the better tyre wear come into play at the end. Slugsy, fantastic drive, and I think I will give Slugsy my driver of the day today for that one, because I think we know Kingy can do what he did, even though it was a fantastic drive, and again we know Gov can do what Gov did as well. So I think Slugsy deserves the driver of the day in this one. And as I said, Bucky with a fantastic race. Rockzilla, Baz, probably races they want to forget. Ost, after a very struggling to get through the pack, a 4th place is a fantastic result. Shame he couldn't get his 2nd podium of the night, though. Giacala showed some real pace, but unfortunately couldn't quite do it. Luca would be a good shout for driver of the day as well, after having to alternate his strategy. And I think he did the most stops of everybody. I think he did a 3 stop, whereas a lot did a 1 or a 2, and I think he did a 3. So great from him. But for me personally, I think I'm going to give driver of the day to Slugsy. So great racing from everybody there. So that's going to be all for this one. So I'll let everybody go now. So as I said, thanks for watching. Tune in next week, which will unfortunately be our final one that we'll stream on the Sunday, as we'll have the Nexus League coming up then. So join us next week. Won't be the final race of the series, but will be the final stream. So hopefully you can join us for that one. But I'll see you next time.